Welcome back to another gadget report. Let's talk gadgets. And today I'm very excited because I've got good news from one of my favorite airlines. British Airways, of course. And this one, it's really excited. So the airline announced on the 18th of March that they will start transitioning to more greener options to what it's the airline's ground operations is concerned. They phasing out things, they replacing all their machinery, vehicles, etc. in the ground with more greener options in an aim to reduce emissions and become more greener. For me, this is obviously very good news. Everybody knows I really like this airline, and I really like to see everything, all these positive steps in order to become greener. So come with me. Let's talk gadgets. Let's talk gadgets. Let's go. So British Airways, as I said, and I'm gonna read, I've got the press release right here. I'll leave the link below so you guys can read it as well. But I'll have to read a lot of this information because it is a lot of information for me to just say it by heart. It's a lot. And I obviously don't want to say anything that would be incorrect. So, as I said, British Airways has announced a £7 billion investment to transform the business over the next 3 years. So the plan is to renovate everything and get more sustainable, greener options for the airline. We know already the airline has been investing in much more greener aircraft and all of that with SAF, etc. But now it's time for the ground operations, and everyone knows that every airline needs a lot of ground equipment to be able to operate. There's the luggage needs to be transported to the aircraft. Everything, sometimes passengers need to be transported by bus to the aircraft. There needs to be those steps that you go if you need to go into the aircraft. There's a lot of machinery that it's involved in the ground operations of an airline, of every airline. And of course, usually all of these, or currently, this equipment is operated by fossil fuels, mostly diesel. So what British Airways is now proposing is starting that transition and changing things around. So on the 18th of March, the airline published this press release where it says what changes are gonna be in effect. So the airline is starting with its equipment at Heathrow Airport, and what they say is that they will be replacing more than 750 pieces of ground equipment, including fuel bowsers from fossil fuel to HVO. And HVO is hydrogenated I'm sorry for me for the stumble, hydrogenated vegetable oil. So this is and it's been used. I remember when I was in Portugal, this was already being used in for example in buses and stuff. So much so that supermarkets, I remember last time I went there, supermarkets had a collection point, so people could use could go and put their bottles with their cooking oil, their used cooking oil, that could then be recycled and used as fuel. So this is a very important step, I think, and I found that back then when I last went to Portugal and I saw this happening, I thought, well, this is a great idea, because we usually throw away our used oils and they end up in landfill, and it's not a good idea. And if we can use this to produce something that is more sustainable, then why not? And it's a very good idea. So, and this is what it is, hydro-treated, sorry, and I made a mistake, hydro-treated vegetable oil that is then used to power these things. This is one of the measures. The airline will be replacing all diesel passenger aircraft steps with electric alternatives. As I said, the steps, it's those the stairs that you usually come on and to the aircraft or out if need. And this aims to reduce the fuel consumption by 370 tons of CO2 emissions per year based on previous diesel usage, of course, which is the equivalent of more than 500 round-trip economy passenger journeys between London, Heathrow and JFK. This is important. This is something, I would say. The airline is also phasing out its fleet of 20 diesel-powered vehicles which support the loading and unloading of cargo containers onto the aircraft, replacing them with hybrid electric models and introducing 135 new electric baggage thugs, you know, those that push the containers with the luggage, accounting for 40% of the tugs to transport customers' luggage. This they work with improved batteries and charging technology that utilizes highly efficient lithium-ion battery technology, requiring less energy and producing 30% less CO2 when in use compared to traditional lead-acid batteries. So this is a very innovative idea, and I think it's a great step for aviation and for British Airways, of course. And then the airline will be also gradually phasing out the 38 diesel passenger buses over the next 2 years. This is very, very important. They say that 23 expected to be fully electric and the remaining 15 operating on HVO fuel. So this is what the airline is saying. So that's for Heathrow at the moment, but of course I believe this will be going through other airports controlled by British Airways, of course, in the UK, and I believe this is a very, very important step for aviation in general. We know that not just the aircraft produce emissions, not just the aircraft contribute to greenhouse emissions, although, and I have already said this before, unlike what a lot of people think, aviation is not the biggest pollution or polluter, because there is other sectors that pollute way more than aviation, including our family cars, and but of course they do pollute, and the sector knows that, the industry knows that, and they've been working hard to reduce these emissions to create more fuel efficient aircraft. SAF is obviously something that is here, and it's here to stay. It's a reality. There's also the hydrogen technology, and of course the ground operations of any airline, of any airport, must be also taken into account, because it's part of aviation, it's part of the healthy running of any airline. And I believe this is British Airways answering to that quest, answering to that need of improvement, need of reduction in the emissions of its ground force. And I think this will be a very good step forward for British Airways. I'm pretty sure other airlines will do the same, because this is the future of aviation. I believe this is our future for everything. We need to start using more greener alternatives, and I think this is a great idea. That's why I decided to talk about this today, because I'm very excited about it, and I would like to congratulate British Airways for another positive step. That's all for today. I hope you like this gadget report and you like this news from British Airways. I'm very excited, as you know. And this is something that really keeps me going. I love aviation and this airline in particular. And I really, for me, it's really something that makes me really happy when I see some company that I really like to take a positive step and to do something good for the environment and for all of us. And I think British Airways has been doing that. Obviously, I cannot say that British Airways is alone, because a lot of other airlines are doing it as well. Example of Qantas, example of KLM. I would say aviation in general is working towards the target zero. Everyone is doing it, so I think it's not just British Airways. But being a fan of this airline, of course, I have to say it, and I have to do a video about this, because it's something that really makes me happy. So this was my contribute, and my tribute to British Airways for their hard work in order to go green. But if you have any suggestions of any other thing, or if you know any other news from British Airways, if you are living in the UK, and if you learn anything else about British Airways, please come aboard, leave me a comment below, and I'll be very happy to talk about it. You know that. Or if you work at British Airways and you have news for me, please be my guest. Just leave a comment below. I'll be very happy to talk about it. I really like to talk about British Airways. It's one of my favorite airlines, and or any other subject that you would like to know, any other green technology for aviation that you know about. I'm always interested in this sort of subject, because it's one of the things that I love the most is aviation. And also, I really love the planet, and I really think we need to do something about what's happening at the moment with the planet, and we really need to reduce the impact that we cause in our planet, and we really need to reduce the amount of pollution that we release in the planet, because it's no good, and we are killing the planet, and we are killing ourselves. So that's not a good situation, and we need to change it. We need to change our behaviors, and we need to change the way we see things and the way we do things, in order to get a much better place to live and a much more harmonious place for all of us. But philosophies aside, any suggestions, any comments, leave it below. I'll be very happy to answer it. And put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell, so you get a new gadget report every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Have a good one. Bye.